people are your family. These people are your children. These people are your spouse. Of course, marriage certificate, birth certificate, pictures. Pictures, very important. I have said this several times. So today's video, I want to talk about, should I apply for my Canada study visa alone, or I should apply alongside my wife or my spouse or my family? So basically, this is the information I'm going to be discussing in the video. So guys, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and do not forget to like this video, and when you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because when you turn on the bell, whenever I drop a new video, you would be the first to watch. Thank you so much. So today, let's discuss about study permit to Canada and applying with family or without applying with family. But before I proceed, I want to draw your attention to something. In case you want to study in Canada and you do not have your father, your mother, your siblings, your brother or sister, and you do not have your own personal bank account to sponsor you, and you are thinking of using your uncle to sponsor yourself, then make sure that your uncle have the same surname as your parents. All right, your father or your mother, your uncle should have a link, or you guys should have a link. Then if your uncle has been your sponsor maybe for some years, then it is going to be good. You can screenshot, take some pictures and take some receipts of your uncle doing some transactions with you via your education for your studies. I hope you understand. In this case, because I have always said that it is your father, yourself, your mother, your brother or sister who are very good people to sponsor you. But in this case, you can use your uncle or auntie, provided they have these documents I told you recently. Now, also understand that applying for the residence, let me say, if you are using these people to apply for your study permit or your study visa, because you are going to get the permit when you arrive at the airport in Canada. If you are using them, then you should remember that it is very important for you to make sure you document the other things well. What are the other things I'm talking about here? I mean things related to your home ties and your letter of explanation. Your letter of explanation has some particular things you are going to do on it. You are going to watch more of these videos on this page, on my YouTube, Facebook page. Okay, your letter of explanation, you need to set who is sponsoring you, why you choose Canada, and a whole lot of things. I have videos about that. Then your home ties, you need to show proof. Do you have lands? Do you have a job? Do you have businesses back home or in your home country? Do you have maybe any other thing that will make you return back home? All these things, you need to document them with documents, papers, proofs. It is very important, not just fake papers or any other thing. Do not plagiarize them. Bring evidence. Then you are going to show this. It is very important. Now, let's take a look at, should I apply for my study permit with my family or I should apply alone? Well, in one case, I would say that if you do not have maybe a job or maybe businesses or maybe properties, you should use your family as home ties. All right, you can leave them back home, apply a loan, use them as home ties, move to Canada. Then when you get the necessary requirements and funds to bring them to Canada, you then file an application for them. Relax, I'm going to explain further. Now, there are a lot of things. For those who have been asking, for how long can my wife invite me, or my spouse is in Canada, for how long can she invite me or apply for my study permit or apply for me to come over? They can apply at any time. It depends on if they already have the requirements, which I'm going to list some of them to you here. Now, remember, bringing somebody to Canada is a whole lot of things. In another scenario, if you ask my opinion, I would say that if you have the required funds and you have maybe landed properties or accommodation or businesses and you want to move to Canada, it is now going to be a wise decision. It is preferable for you to do your application, then you include your family members in your application alone. They will be coming as dependents and you would be the primary applicant. Yes, but remember, When moving to Canada, you need to explain what the program is going to do, or what are you going to do after you finish the program and return to your home country. It is very, very important. Do not forget this, very important. Now, you need not to create maybe a different portal. You can create just one portal and apply for you guys. Or when you move to Canada, you can then create a different portal and start the application. Remember, you are not the one coming again. You want to bring them over. So you have to create a different portal, a new GC key, something like that. Then you start the application. They will now ask you, who do you want to bring into Canada? You will now say, it is my husband, it is my children, it is my spouse. Now, how much do you need? You just need to document that these people are your family, these people are your children, these people are your spouse. Of course, marriage certificate, birth certificate, pictures. Pictures, very important. I have said this several times. Okay, pictures. Now, the amount you need in order to bring these people in, like I said before, if you ask me, and if you don't have documents to prove home ties, I would say that quietly go alone. Then when you arrive Canada, you now file in for them, because you are going to use them as home ties. But if you have houses, accommodation, landed properties to use as home ties, and probably businesses, then why not? You can apply for them, apply with them, then you use those stuff as your businesses. The only thing you need to explain here is when you finish the program, you are going to return back home. It is as easy as ABC. Now, when you are bringing your family closer to you, or if you want to bring them over to you when you are already in Canada, how much money do you need as proof of funds? First, this is the thing. If you already paid your tuition fee completely, I mean completely in Canada, then attach the payment receipt, then provide $4,000 for them, their husband or wife. Then if you have a child or two children, the first child should have $3,000 in the account, and the second child should have $3,000 in the account. This is in the case, and subsequently the other people 3,000, right? But if you have not paid your fees, make sure your bank account has your entire tuition fee, the remaining portion of your tuition fee. All right, any payment you have done, you add the receipt. Then you have 4,000 for your spouse, your husband or wife. Then if you have a son or a daughter, you also include 3,000 for them. But if there are two, 3,000. This is how you show proof of funds. But in my opinion, I will advise you to add more money. The more you have money, the better. Now, who is going to be the person to show these funds? If you want to invite your spouse over to Canada, let's assume that you are the wife and your husband is back in Africa or Nigeria or Cameroon. Now, you are thinking, who should have the money in his account? You are the one who wants to invite them, right? You want to apply for an open work permit for them, not so? Yes. Invitation and open work permit are two different things. You are applying for an open work permit for them on IRCC, okay? Now, when you are applying for this open work permit for them on IRCC, this is when you have to show all this proof for the money and a whole lot of stuff. Alongside your study permit, you need to upload your study permit on IRCC as well. You need to upload your enrollment letter to the university on IRCC as well. You need to show your student ID card if you have that as well. If you have a part-time job, also upload that as well. This is for you in Canada. Then if you have a bank account in Canada, show the bank account. If you have a bank account back in your home country but it's still functional, show the bank statement. Show the bank statement, not the bank account, the bank statement. If your husband has a bank statement or bank account in his home country, let him equally show the bank statement. It is still important. But if you ask me, I will advise you in Canada should have a majority of the money in your account, while your husband should have a small proportion. You guys can even have more money. Like I said, the more the money, the better for you. Remember I talked about open work permit. It is done on IRCC. That is the first option you are going to do. They are going to give your spouse an open work permit directly. But another way you can do this application, your spouse will get what is called a visitor's visa. Your spouse can get a visitor visa, all right, and move with it. Then when in Canada, your spouse, since you are a student in Canada now, your spouse can then use that visitor visa, go to the border, or you guys go to the border, you show evidence that you are couples, then they will flag, you will do what is called flag polling, okay? They will now convert the visitor visa to an open work permit. But if you want to avoid this process and the stress, then apply directly for an open work permit when you are moving to Canada or when you are already in Canada. Now, you may be asking, what type of visas would my child get, or what type of visa would they give your child? They might give your child maybe something called a visitor visa, a visitor's record, in case your child is below 4 years of age. Okay, but there are scenarios as well. You know, this application depends on individual skills, let me say individuality, all right, because somebody can apply with the children and of course they give them the same document like open work permit, but when you apply they give you visitors record. But I will recommend that you apply with your family immediately. Say you are moving with them, they are going to give them the visitors record and give your spouse what is called the open work permit. It is very important for you to note this. Remember, if you are applying for a study visa alone, you need to have all your entire tuition fee in your bank account, point number one. Then you also need in that bank account, you need to have what is called miscellaneous. That is money to pay your flights and return to your home country when you finish your program. In that same bank account, you need to have money called $10,000, or you need to have an amount of $10,000. This money, according to the Canadian government, is money they call living costs. Okay, so your tuition fee, living costs, miscellaneous, and you are good to go. I hope this video helps you. And for those who have been asking, should I apply a loan or with my spouse? The answer now is in your court. I have given you everything you need and every other thing. You make sure. Someone was on call with me yesterday on one-on-one mentorship, and she told me that her visitor visa was rejected because of home ties. And when I asked her 2 questions about home ties, she told me she never mentioned anything like that. Please, I have a lot of videos on this channel, so if you look for anything, just type my name on the YouTube search bar on YouTube. You are going to get a lot of my videos and you watch them, and before you know, you are in Canada.